Hey, what's up everyone, Saintsfan back again with another GTA 5 gun running video, and today, I know this may be a little late because the DLC's been out for a week now, but I wanted to do a 25 plus things that you might not know about the gun running DLC, because there's some things that I didn't know about until I looked them up. And plus, this DLC has been huge. Like, there's people that probably still don't have everything unlocked, so maybe this video will help you out. These range from super common tips that you may know to stuff that you probably had no idea was even in the game. So hopefully this video helps everyone out. Now, without further ado, we're gonna hop right in because there are so many tips. The first one, and these are in no particular order, but the half track will actually not destroy in pretty deep water. It has a snorkel on it that actually works, which is kind of rare. Now, you do got to be careful in certain waters because, like, I was doing this in the Alamo Sea and there's a lot of rocks, and if you hit a rock, you know, the angle of your car, like the snorkel might go underwater, so you will crash, or like the car will die. But if you're in like a river or something, then you can easily use the half track in there. And it's actually kind of funny if you just want to like sort of camp under the river. You can barely have the guns peeking out and nobody would know. I think that'd be a really funny thing to do. So that is pretty cool to know. Next up, you can actually lose your wanted level with the mobile operations center. This also works for the bunker. I think that's pretty obvious, but you can lose your wanted level if you have a mobile operations center out and you walk into it. You can have 5 stars and there could be a cop right next to you, but the minute you walk in, you will actually lose it. Next one, you can actually use the SMG Mark II on bikes. So this might replace some of the pistols you've been using for quite some time, especially now that you can equip like FMJ bullets or, you know, some of the other bullet types with it. So if you've been using bikes, definitely upgrade the SMG Mark II because it'll come in handy. Next thing you might not know, the cargo bob can actually hook onto all of the gun running supply vehicles, but only a few of them are actually worth it. Like, it can hook onto the APC tank, but it can't really lift it. It can hook onto the half track, but it can't really lift it because they're too heavy. But the one that like is just so much fun, it can actually hook on to the trailer, the anti-air trailer. So you could be a cargo bob in the air carrying the anti-air trailer with someone on it. It's so much fun, and I would highly recommend doing that with your anti-air trailer and a cargo bob. Next up, there are a limit of rockets on the gun running vehicles. They're not actually unlimited. It's somewhat like the Runo 2000, although with the Runo 2000, you can actually see how many you have left, where these new vehicles you can't. So it's kind of just guesswork. And I believe, from what people have told me, the APC actually has like 50 or 60 missiles in it before you do run out. The Oppressor has 20 missiles before you run out. The Tampa also has 20 missiles before you run out, and I believe the Tampa has like 12 mortars before you run out. Now, with the proximity mines, weirdly enough, they're unlimited. You can just only have 5 out at a time. And then obviously with the miniguns and all that on those vehicles, that's unlimited too. But there is a limit, so just know that. Don't be spamming if you don't want to run out. Next thing, you can actually somewhat permanently steal someone's Oppressor motorcycle. So the way the kick feature works in the game is they have to be on the ground for it to work. But with the Oppressor, you're basically never on the ground for more than like a second. So if you want, you can technically steal, if someone has their Oppressor out and it's set to everyone, you can get on it and just fly it around. And they can't do anything about it unless they blow you up, because they can kick you from it, but that's not going to work until you go on the ground for more than a second. And they can even set it to no one, but that's not going to work either because, again, you have to be on the ground. So that's what you see in the gameplay. My friend actually kicked me off his bike, but it's still letting me fly it around. This next one might be something that many people know about, but just because it's not really advertised, I feel like I should tell you guys about it. Next to the computer, next to your laptop in your bunker, there are actually the security cameras, if you have purchased those, that you can look out and you can see outside, and it's kind of cool, like, especially if people are maybe camping your bunker, you can get an idea of where they're at. But I felt like that's something that, you know, you might want to know about. Also, this is something that probably a lot of people have figured out by now, but you can drive your bikes around the bunker. So I've been actually using my Oppressor a lot lately, and I just drive into my bunker and then drive it around instead of using the caddy, because I feel like the Oppressor, or just any bike in general, is a lot easier to drive. Now, in the bunker, unfortunately, I couldn't get gameplay of this because I suck, but the gun range actually has rewards. There are 3 tiers, and each tier gives you certain things. So tier 1, completing tier 1 for the gun range, they actually give you gold and platinum tints for the Mark II guns. And each of those costs, I believe, $95,000. Tier 2, it will actually increase the maximum capacity by 5 of your throwable explosives. So sticky bombs, grenades, all that stuff, normally it's 25. If you complete tier 2, it will make it 30. So that's kind of useful. And then tier 3, you actually get a bunch of new clothing options unlocked. You get 3 new hats and 9 new special tops. So if you like collecting stuff, then you can do all of those tiers and get all of the rewards. Going back to the Oppressor, something that is super funny, the Oppressor can actually be used as a lead vehicle in the MC driving formation. And yes, the boost does work. And yes, it does work with the Faggio. You can see my friend behind me is on a Faggio, and I am the lead of the formation. And as fast as I go, he will keep up as long as he's in the circle. So I'm sure you can have a ton of fun with your friends doing some crazy stuff, having the Faggios go super fast. So that's definitely something that's really cool. Next one, you can use the Phantom Wedge on your mobile operations center. You'll see later in this video, it's actually not that great. I mean, apart from moving cars out the way, because it's not that quick, but you can use it if you do have a Phantom Wedge, you know, and people can actually sit on it. Not in the very back, but they can sit on the side. So I thought that was kind of cool. The Oppressor, going back to it, again, the Oppressor can be actually made your favorite bike if you use it enough. So I would highly recommend doing that, because then once you get it as your favorite bike, it will actually heal you when you're driving it around, which might be useful if you crash into things like I do sometimes. Also with the Oppressor, every time you get on it, you get a parachute. So that's something that is definitely useful. It sort of acts like a helicopter. You'll see in the gameplay, I jump off of it once, have a parachute already, and then normally, since I just used my parachute, you know, the only way to get another one is either go into a helicopter or find one on the map, but I just hop back in on my Oppressor, and I jump off again, and bam, I have another parachute ready to go. Also, and I didn't get gameplay of this because the freaking event never, like, worked, or they never spawned for me, but the Oppressor, oddly enough, can actually be used in the fast land event, like the free mode event. So, I mean, that's pretty OP. I mean, if you have it, if you see that event, I would definitely recommend getting your Oppressor and trying to win. Also, this is something that, you know, many people probably figured out by now, but, you know, in case you didn't, the Oppressor, you can somewhat keep gliding longer if you go up and down. Like if you sort of use like a wave method, you know, sort of going up and then down, up and then down. You can't go on forever, but it does go a lot further than if you just were to glide normally. One thing that is actually really useful in this update is the Wastelander. And the reason is because when people stand on the back of it, they actually don't fall off. And what you can do is, you know, in supply missions or just randomly around, you know, going around in free roam, you can have people call their ballistic armor, like the Juggernaut suit, and they can actually sit on the back of it while you're driving around. And that's going to be super helpful because they will get stars on them, but you won't. And they obviously take a lot more damage. So, you know, maybe if you want to escape from the cops or something, or if you have like Merryweather or people coming after you, like NPCs coming after you, they could easily take them out without dying. So that's actually really cool. And you might want to use that in some of the missions to sort of change it up. Although you can't actually walk in water with the jug suit. I mean, I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but just know if you walk in water, you will die instantly. Next up, you can connect the anti-air trailer to the half-track. Unfortunately, though, it can't be your own half-track, and it can't be your own anti-air trailer. You can only have one out, because what ends up happening, if you call the AA trailer, then you can't call your personal vehicle. And if you call your personal vehicle, you can't call the anti-air trailer. So you're going to have to partner up with a friend or something and have your half-track with his anti-air trailer. But if you have 3 people, that's going to be really awesome, because then you'll have one person driving, and then you'll have 2 anti-air guns, because one on the trailer and then one on the actual half-track. Next up, and this may be a little too late for some people, but if you haven't purchased one yet, don't. And I'm talking about the gun locker in your bunker. Man, Rockstar, they're so tricky with trying to make money, or with trying to make you lose money, because in your bunker, there's an option to buy the gun rack, but you actually get one for free in your mobile operations center. So there's literally no reason for you to buy one in the bunker. One thing that's actually kind of cool, I don't know if this is a glitch or what, because I could not get it to work, but I've seen multiple people get it to work. If you're in your mobile operations center, so I guess on the sticks, like, you know, using the guns, you can actually get arrested, which doesn't happen in GTA Online. But you can see from this picture, this guy actually got busted. And what happened, it spawned him at the police station, and I believe it spawned his mobile operations center just back in his bunker. So that's, again, I don't know if that's a glitch. I don't know if that's supposed to happen, but it didn't happen to me. And I did this for like multiple times. And, you know, I did it so long, the cops actually blew up my mobile operations center just from shooting at it. But yeah, that's something that could happen. And if you've had it happen to you, that is why. Next up in the interaction menu now, there are 2 new options for clothing. One that actually raises your hood up and down if you have like a hoodie on, and that's really cool. And then the other one is to open and close your jacket. So no longer do you need to buy both the open and closed versions of the jacket. I mean, they're still there if you want to, but if you just buy the closed one, you can then open it and close it to your liking. So that's really cool. Next one, this is somewhat of just a public service announcement, and I mentioned this before, but on the Tampa, or really any car that has proximity mines, don't purchase a horn because you're wasting $100,000. Because the Tampa, or because the proximity mines actually use the same control. It uses the left stick down to use, like, to deploy them, and that means you can't use your horn. So if you want to use a horn, don't buy the proximity mines. And if you want to use the proximity mines, don't buy a horn. This is something that it's sort of hard to test, but according to multiple people, the Tampa actually goes faster if you shoot backwards. And I somewhat tried to test that here at the airport. Obviously this is not practical in any way because you're aiming backwards, you're looking backwards, you're not seeing where you're going. But I thought that was kind of cool because I believe that actually happened back in, what was it? Well, it happened to me back in Vice City. You'd always point the tank backwards and then shoot and it would go faster. So I don't know if that's probably like a little glitch, or that probably isn't intentional, but it is kind of a cool Easter egg, a throwback to those games. Next one, you can actually use some of the gun running cars in heists, the weaponized Tampa and the half track. I know for a fact you can use, and that's going to be super helpful for a few missions that you're going to want a super crazy weaponized car on. Although just keep in mind with the half track, it is super slow, so if you got to drive a far distance, it's probably not going to be that helpful. Next one, the FMJ rounds are actually the best counter now to the armored Kuruma, or really just to any armored car. So normally, well, the armored Kuruma in particular, it's super difficult to shoot someone out of it because they do have bulletproof windows. And even like, you'll see I have the Shafter V12, it takes what, like 17 bullets to actually penetrate through the armored windows. But with FMJ rounds, dude, it's like one hit kill, boom, it's over. One shot goes through the windows and you can easily kill someone. So I would highly recommend putting FMJ bullets on one of your weapons in case you do encounter someone in an armored Kuruma, so you can basically one-shot them if you hit them. Next one, this is something that is a little minor, but if you've been using the dune buggy a lot lately, and I believe there's actually a few like supply missions or a few missions with the dune buggy, don't go near the canals because it's super low to the ground. So you'll see in some of the canal water, it gets deep enough to actually destroy your vehicle. So just know that if you've been using the dune buggy a lot lately. Now here at the Mobile Operations Center, I wanted to do a test between the hauler, the Phantom, and even the Phantom Wedge. And you'll see in this first clip, the hauler versus the Phantom. The Phantom actually gets a better start, which is kind of weird because you would think the hauler would be better since it is more money. But it looks like what ends up happening, the hauler just takes more damage. Like it can withstand more damage, more rockets, where the Phantom, it can't, but it is a little bit quicker, it's a little bit faster. So I thought that was kind of cool. Now versus the Phantom Wedge, you can see here the hauler does actually smoke the Phantom Wedge. Like I was saying earlier, the Phantom Wedge is not that great if you're looking for a fast moving mobile operation center, but it will push a bunch of cars out of the way. Also, it's a lot slower with the trailer on the back, which I guess makes a lot of sense. Now we're sort of getting to the end of this list, but this next one is just another public service announcement. When you go to sell your gun running products, what you should probably do if you want to help your associates a little bit more, become an MC and not a CEO. And the reason, well, there's a few reasons. One, in an MC you can hire up to 7 people, so that's going to be super helpful if you have a bunch of friends. Also, the people in the MC get paid a lot more. I believe the associates and the CEO only get paid like $5,000, where if you make someone in an MC like a sergeant at arms, or if you rank them up, then I believe they actually get paid like $35,000, which is a lot more than $5,000. So I mean, it's still not much, but it's definitely something that will help. Now, I will say though, the CEO has some benefits. One being you can spawn a buzzard with weapons, because the buzzard you spawn with the MC does not have weapons, so that might come in handy. And the CEO is definitely better, I would say, if you're in a super crazy public lobby, because you have the option to ghost organization yourself, which takes you off the map for, I think, what, 3 minutes or something, and it's like $12,000. And if you're doing $1 million sale, you're definitely going to want to do that so people don't know where you're at. But again, those are the pros and cons, I guess, to either the CEO versus MC. Just thought I would let you guys know about it. And then the last few here, this one, especially if you have the bunker near Fort Zancudo, what you can actually do is start a bunker resupply mission and then hop right into Fort Zancudo and easily steal a laser because you don't get stars on you. So that's kind of cool. Next up, I don't know if this is a glitch or not, but unfortunately, a lot of cars are affected. So the way downforce works in gun running, or with the gun running DLC, it's been changed, and I'm not entirely sure what downforce is. It's something that affects the cars and how fast they go. But now the RE7B, the Tyrus, the Itali GTB Custom, the GP1, the Wagner, one of the new cars, the Spectre Custom, the Comet Retro Custom, the Omnis, the Rustin, and the Ramp Buggy all are a lot slower. So if you've been noticing, or if you've been driving any of those cars and they're a lot slower, that is why. The game has been broken. Don't know if it's intentional or not. And then finally, to end this video, I'm going to show you guys one way to get into a solo public lobby on the PC. It's super simple. I've showed this before. I actually showed it off on my live stream. All you have to do is go to the task manager, then you go to performance, and then you go at the very bottom. It says open resource monitor. Then you wait until it shows up with GTA 5. Once it does show up with GTA 5, you right click, you hit suspend process, you wait about 10 seconds or so, and then you hit resume process, and then boom, everyone should lag out of your lobby and you'll be in a solo public lobby. Super simple. Now on the PS4, there is a way, I don't know how well it works, and do keep in mind this may screw up your system, like this may screw up a lot of stuff with you, with your Wi-Fi, but I will let you guys know about it. You actually have to set a custom MTU. I believe you go to your network settings and then you go to custom and then you put in 800 for the MTU and then save it and then try it. When you go to a lobby, you should be alone. Or if that doesn't work, then you can try 850. And then if that doesn't work, then you can try 900. And if that doesn't work, 950, so on and so forth. So change the MTU to 800 or 850 or 900. See if you can go into a public lobby. You should be by yourself, but again, this sort of messes up a lot of stuff because then even your friends can't join you. But that is it. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. I know it's kind of a long video, but thank you all for watching. Let me know in the comments if you guys want to see more testing, like on some of the stuff. I never did a speed test on like the Rocket bike or even like some of the other cars that came out, like the Tampa. If you guys want to see stuff like that, definitely let me know. I know it's been a week, but again, this has been a pretty long DLC. Like a lot of this stuff I feel like isn't unlocked for most people. So if you want to see some more testing, like especially maybe how much armor or how much damage you can do to the ballistic armor before it, before someone dies, then just let me know in the comment section. But thank you all. Please drop the video a like if you did enjoy, subscribe for more awesome GTA content, and as always, I will see you guys in the next one.